to our friend from New York, Nicole Malliotakis, who's been working on this.
Well, thank you, Representative. Thank you. I don't know if this is working, but thank you, Minority Whip Scalise. I want to thank also Leader McCarthy and all my colleagues who are here today to talk about this very important issue. I also want to thank Claudette Duff, who is one of my constituents and represents Integrated Senior Services, to really talk about how this is impacting. I could certainly, as the representative, talk about how this is impacting New Yorkers, but I think it's best to hear it from those individuals, particularly those who represent our senior population. Cost of living in New York is out of control for multiple reasons. And unfortunately, I'm seeing a lot of those same policies that have driven up the cost of everything in New York being adopted now at the federal level. And I think that my responsibility is to sound the alarm and show how this has impacted New York and why we need to stop it on the federal level because it will certainly affect the rest of the country. But under President Biden's plans, the United States would need to build and operate over 3,600 offshore wind turbines alone, to power New York City. And certainly this would cost U.S. taxpayers more than $95 billion. And look, I'm someone who believes in alternative energy, but it needs to be diversification here. You can't just completely eliminate different aspects of the energy industry. And so I believe in diversification, which is why I supported the construction of the Keystone Pipeline. Just to give you an idea of how this is affecting New York currently, in August of 2021, electricity prices averaged 22.6 cents per kilowatt hour in New York City, which is 56.9% more than the national average. Why? Well, in New York, they implemented a lot of mandates and taxes as they're looking to propose here on the national level. They also totally took offline Indian Point Power Plant, nuclear power plant in New York City, which is part of that diversification puzzle. And when Governor Cuomo said he was going to do this, we all raised our voices and said that this was going to increase energy costs on New Yorkers, and that is exactly what we're seeing happening now. Again, this is before Biden's plan. In August 2021, the average price for New York City residents for piped gas was $1.32 per therm, 4.3% more than the national average. That is why people all around the country are saying that not only the Keystone Pipeline would have been good to add to this this commodity, but also the 11,000 jobs it would have created. But also, one last thing I want to point out is that in 2019, New York was the 6th largest natural gas consumer among states. So we need to have diversification of energy sources to keep up with the demand. These are not high-class problems, as the White House is saying. The supply chain is not a minor inconvenience. It is an inconvenience on every single American family, and we will see that in these winter months if the Biden administration doesn't get serious about addressing this issue. So we need real solutions, diversification of energy sources. We need more supply, not taxation, not mandates, and not regulation. Thank you.
Appreciate your passion, Nicole, and your leadership. Next colleague I'm going to call upon is a leader on the House Energy Act.